morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frank Olivo. Our program focuses on the very important issues that are affecting the local community. We have shed light on injustices and we allowed for our platform, this mic, to be that of the voice of the people. Now, if this is something that you can see yourself supporting, well, we ask that you join the cause. Make sure that you are actively following and subscribing to all of our social media platforms. Currently, right now, this live program is being streamed on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Facebook. We could be found under Frankie Olivo. We also encourage you to follow our personal page on Face. We could be found under Olivo Frankie. But more importantly, if you haven't already, create a Gmail account, go to YouTube, like, follow, and subscribe to our channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. It's free. Remember, Brownsville, Cameron County, I will never ask you for money. I will never ask you for food. You want us to continue to provide you with the latest information that is happening within our area? We'll gladly do so. All we ask in return is something very simple, something that won't cost you a dime. Make sure that you are subscribed to all of our social media platforms. Why, you may ask? Why do you always ask us to follow you across the board on all of your social media platforms? Well, there may be a time where you cannot find me anymore on Facebook. As of late, our Facebook page is at risk of being taken down. The powers that be do not want you, the voter, the constituent, the people, to know the truth. But remember, we will not be silenced. So if you're really about the cause and you want to stand up to corruption and you want to hold our elected leaders and those in leadership positions accountable, make sure that you are subscribed to all of our social media platforms. Remember, Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday religiously. So make sure that you are subscribed to Frankie Olivo TV on YouTube to tune in. We will not be silenced. And always remember, Cameron County, we are forever grateful to each and every one of you for the time and attention that each and every one of you provide us. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for it. How we doing, chat? How we doing? Happy Tuesday. Today is the start of early voting. We as citizens of our area, of this great nation, have the ability to vote for individuals that are like-minded, people that we will entrust with a position throughout different government entities throughout our area. Today, we will be focusing on the different races, talk about a little bit about them, get you informed on where exactly you can cast your ballot. Again, we have 2 weeks from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in which we're able to vote. And during early voting, it doesn't matter whether we vote here in Brownsville, in South Padre, La Feria, we can vote anywhere. On election day, we have to vote at our designated precinct. And it always gets hectic. There are some people that prefer to vote on election day. That's their custom. They just prefer to do so on the last day. Maybe they have questions in regards to the candidates and they need a little bit more time. If you want to avoid long lines on election day, we encourage you. We will talk and let you know of the different areas in which you can go today. You can go these next 2 weeks. It is important for us to participate in early voting. We have people who have been, upset, disenfranchised, feel as if their vote does not matter. Oh, that's rigged. Why am I going to vote? There have been cases in which races have been won or lost by a few couple ballots. So your vote is very powerful. It could ultimately determine whether the person you're voting for or voting against gets into office. We complain a lot. We say, oh, well, they're all on the take. They're all corrupt. They're all one of the same. Well, now is our opportunity to vote for individuals that are going to be transparent, that are going to be accountable, that are going to work for you, the people. My job today is to motivate, to encourage you to take some time out of your busy day from here till March the 3rd and go vote. I'm not here to tell you to vote for one candidate or the other. No one is right or wrong in trying to make sure that they promote the candidate of their preference. At the end of the day, it is our civic duty to go to the ballot boxes and to vote. Why? Ultimately, that is why we live in this great nation. People die. They go and are a part of these wars that these presidents and these governments send them to. And we have this right to be able to vote. It is not like dictatorships in which the outcome is already rigged. So I encourage you, and I hope by today's program, you are motivated. You are wanting to, change. Change is necessary. That is a common word that we always use. But is change going to be for the better of Cameron County or for the worst? We have, for the past month, 2 months, have been talking about, or longer, we've been talking about the different candidates, their different platforms. And I hope that you realize that my job isn't to convince you. My job is just to provide you information. We get criticized for being biased. No, we seek the truth. Whatever you decide to do with the information that we have been providing you, that's totally out of my hands. And we will continue to do so. We have until March the 3rd. I may ask for a break. I may ask for a day or two off after the elections. But I know you won't let me. At the end of the day, the candidates have already done their job, and they'll continue to do so. And from here to March the 3rd, we're going to continue to bring awareness, to talk about these candidates. Heck, we might even have a candidate or two come on the platform to make a last-minute pitch to their constituents. So early voting starts today, ladies and gentlemen. The candidates have actively been working their campaigns. Now it's time for you to do your part. And that is the purpose of today's program, to motivate, to encourage you to get out to vote. And not just that, take your friends, take your family members, call people, get them engaged. We hope to get the maximum amount of voters out to the ballot boxes because there is voter apathy here in our area. It is less than 10% in the city of Brownsville, usually whenever we have municipal races. It's going to be interesting to see the percentage of people countywide. There's voter apathy. People, and then after this election, ladies and gentlemen, there's possibly the runoff elections, and then there's also the Port of Brownsville elections in May, and then we have the general election in November. So this is going to be the beginning of multiple elections in which we are going to participate in. So today is the start of early voting. The purpose of today's program is to get you informed on the different races out there. We're going to talk about the sample ballots, talk about the candidates here and there, real quick, real brief. But the purpose of today's program is to motivate you, to encourage you to go out to vote. And that is how we will start today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in, Cameron County. We really appreciate it. But first, a word from our sponsor.
I've dedicated my life to public service, but now I see a county that's ready for change. It's time to bring accountability, transparency, and efficiency to how your tax dollars are managed. We can lower taxes and make government work smarter for you. I'm Jonathan Gracia, and I humbly ask for your vote for Cameron County Treasurer, so together we can build a better future.
Whenever we talk about early voting, it is one of the most powerful ways for us to voice our support, to exercise our ability to promote, encourage candidates and their platforms. At the end of the day, our vote, ladies and gentlemen, is our voice in this democratic society that we live in. The candidates, for the most part, they have done their job in part, and they'll continue to do so up until the last minute, the last hour of March the 3rd. Think about it. These individuals have had months, years of campaigning, of attending debates, forums, of providing you with their ideologies, their policy, their vision for, I don't know, Cameron County, their visions for Congressional District 34, their visions for the 107th District Court, their vision for the county treasurer position, the district clerk's office. What are the races out there? For the local JPs, how they are going to manage the office and the community in which they serve. Public appearances as well has allowed for these candidates to state their platforms for everyone to see. Now the responsibility ultimately lies with us. By casting our ballots during early voting from today, February 17th, all the way to February 27th, Friday, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., we not only fulfill our civic duty, but we also help ensure that our elections run smoothly. We reduce congestion on election day, which is March the 3rd. We give election officials more time to process and verify every vote accurately, because these individuals, they're going down their lists and cross-referencing, cross-checking to make sure that those people that they could count on their support actually went out to the ballot box, because it's a numbers game. If you've been around campaigns, if you've been following campaigns, these individuals that use nothing but data. They have like a rough number, a rough estimate of either they're in the lead, they're behind, they need more people on election day. Are they going to win the early voting? Are they going to win the mail-in ballots, which I want to, state that people should caution, because the Attorney General's office is actively monitoring voter fraud, which is a big part of the election cycle, unfortunately. Voting early isn't just convenient, ladies and gentlemen. It's a clear sign that we take our role in self-governance seriously. And we refuse to leave the future of our communities to chance. I'm not going to vote. My vote doesn't matter. No. This is our opportunity to send a message, because the politicos, they rely heavily on these votes. There is no voter fraud. There's voter fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out with the daycare centers. Watch out with those vans. They're probably already picking up the elderly, those that are illiterate, those that possibly aren't lucid, voter fraud exists. Maybe not on the large scale that we are used and accustomed to in previous years, because if you've been following the program, we've been talking about how the Attorney General's office in the state of Texas has arrested people from Brownsville. Indictments have come down on people. Now the state is actively monitoring places. There is this idea that people, they get an address and they'll sign up, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 people to vote out of one address. That's illegal. Is there voter fraud? 1,000%. Is it on a large scale as we have been accustomed to? I think people now are more conscientious of the ramifications if they get caught. Does it happen? It still happens. Ultimately, what we are starting to see is that the candidates have spoken. Now it's our turn to answer with our vote. The congressional district for Texas 34 has been an interesting one. We see how someone such as Mayra Flores has taken the spotlight away from her rivals, while another candidate received the endorsements from the president and the governor. We have seen how his numbers have been dismal. We have seen how someone such as Luis Buentello, that lived in Brownsville, now resides in Nueces County, he's coming up as now being the second horse in the race. You're right, Gustavo. Some candidates don't even speak at debates. We'll talk about that momentarily. Thank you for tuning in. But what we have seen from this race in particular is that what we once thought of a two-way race between Mayra and Eric Flores, now it seems that Eric Flores is going to come in third. According to insiders, Luis Buentello has been making waves out of Nueces County. For whatever reason, people are saying that they prefer someone local. The people from Nueces County have been saying that ever since they lost, God bless his soul, Blake Farenthold, the former congressman out of Nueces County, that they haven't been getting the proper representation out of that area. Ultimately, what's has been transpiring behind the scenes is that people are betting on Mayra to win. And there are those that believe wholeheartedly that Mayra could win this race without a runoff. What people fail to realize is that you can't come into a race with 750, más o menos, voters, 750,000 voters within Congressional District 34. You can't come in 6 to 8 months and say, hi, I'm here. Please vote for me. It doesn't work that way. What these candidates have failed to realize is that Mayra Flores has been actively campaigning for the past 5-6 years. She is someone that has name recognition. Her team and her have raised at least $10 million, possibly as high as $20 million these past 5-6 years. These candidates thought that just by simply putting their name into the ring, possibly by getting the endorsement of the president, oh, I'm the chosen one, it doesn't work that way. The people need to relate to you. They need to be able to see something in you that they could like. Who could relate to a career prosecutor? Not many people. Possibly only those in their profession. But to you and I that are struggling paycheck to paycheck, Mayra Flores stated something very powerful, and let me know if you could hear it. I apologize if the audio is not good. I apologize, but this is something that Mayra Flores stated at South Padre Island at the Rumble. Let me know if you can hear what she says.
They're told that these positions are not for people like us, that these positions are only for certain people. No disrespect if you're a lawyer, but we have enough of you in Congress. We need more of you. Mothers, teachers, plumbers, police officers, you name it.
Could you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Give me a thumbs up if you could hear what she said. And it's very powerful. And I kind of relate it to how someone such as Jessica Gonzalez, who currently sits on the BISD school board, whenever she ran against Philip Cowan, an incumbent at the time, a local prominent attorney, people said, I want a mother. You heard it? Thank you. We want somebody that we could relate to. Maybe people possibly couldn't relate to someone such as Philip Cowan, but they voted someone who was a PTA mom that was involved in all the local school events. And possibly the moms throughout Brownsville, they said, you know what? We need to elect someone like us. That's something that Mayra Flores is making a pitch, and it's resonating with the people, because if we look at and talk about what has been happening in D.C., ladies and gentlemen, it's not good. And the majority of those people that possess these high-profile positions, whether Congress or Senate, they're lawyers. They're big shots. They're educated. They're this, they're that. They got all the accolades. They got all the patches. And look what our country is in. Puro robadero. So Mayra Flores made a very interesting pitch. We need people like you in Congress. We don't need attorneys. We need mothers. We need plumbers. We need teachers to fight. And that is something that has been resonating with the people, ladies and gentlemen, because what I have noticed out of Eric Flores is that he's not getting any traction. Heck, Susan for the Corrupt is saying, you don't have to like him in order to vote for him. Like, I think you kind of do, Susan. You can't vote for somebody you don't like or somebody you can't relate to. Really? This race is going to be very interesting. And people that are supporting Mayra Flores have gone on the record with this program and stated, we anticipate that Mayra, in previous years, I believe 24, in the primary, she came up with 73% of the vote. They're saying that she's going to win this without a runoff. They believe wholeheartedly in that. Why? Because no amounts of money, no amounts of endorsements could buy up the time that this woman and her team have been actively campaigning, knocking on doors. She stated when she came out on this program that her team and herself have knocked on over 100,000 doors. Can you imagine that? There's not enough money for these candidates. They need $20 million in this race in order to compete. Maybe that's a crazy number, but that's what she has raised throughout her time. Whenever we look at the other races, here we have the Democratic Party. We have a U.S. Senator. We have Vicente Gonzalez out of this same District 34 congressional race. He has a primary opponent in Dr. Etienne Rosas. Etienne Rosas has been labeled and categorized as a socialist, that his ideologies align with, what's the New York City mayor, Mamdani, who, according to many, is a radical. Free healthcare. It's a socialistic belief that the government should provide. What other race? The Attorney General race, Texas Board of Education, Thomas Ray Garcia, who has previously ran in this for this spot. The state rep race for District 37, Stephanie Bauer, Esmeralda Cantu Castle. Is it Castillo or Castle? Castle. And Ociel Ochoa. Who will you vote for out of the three if you vote in the Democratic primary? Ultimately, they will be facing the one who comes out of the GOP between Christian Lucky and Jenny Lopez. Many anticipate Jenny Lopez to win her primary easily. But who's going to come up on top? Is there going to be a runoff in this race? There are justices of the criminal appeals judges for place 9 and place 6, Taylor and Ball, on the Democratic ticket. Also, Veronica, also a race that has garnered a lot of attention as of late has been the 107th Judicial District Court. And we have tried throughout the course of this campaign to talk a little bit about them. Now, people are saying that we're biased because our sole focus was on Aaron Hernandez Garcia. And again, ladies and gentlemen, no candidate is perfect. No party is perfect. We understand that possibly Chuy Garcia and Noe Garza possibly aren't Mr. Perfect, that they can do no wrong. I've had messages of previous clients, of people that were on the opposite side of these individuals' services, and they said, I would not dare vote for Chuy Garcia. I would never dare vote for Noe Garza. And we understand we all have a preference. We all have based possibly on experiences. The reason why we focus wholeheartedly on someone such as Aaron Hernandez Garcia was because she has a lot of baggage. You see, she previously served as a justice of the peace. And during her tenure as justice of the peace, she has made a lot of questionable, heck, borderline illegal things while on the bench. There was accusations of someone in her court saying that she was running a cash for court favors. Somebody went on in front of the judge, Aaron Hernandez Garcia, in court, saying, hey, what's wrong? I paid somebody to get a favorable ruling. Something's wrong. I want my money back. Can you imagine that? A judge being accused of something of that severity? That's bad. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, not only have people within her court accused her of being corrupt, people are actually questioning her competency, whether she's able mentally to fulfill the duties of a state district judge. Now, again, these positions for a state district judge are very important. These individuals, whoever comes out of this March primary and whoever goes up against Lozano in November in the general, whoever comes out of the 107th in November possibly could sit on this bench, on this seat for the next 20 plus years. These positions don't come up too often. So this is a very important race. Suerte is saying, hey, let's vote for people that have never been in office. Could we say that about Aaron Hernandez Garcia? That she already was a justice of the peace. She was already a judge. And look what came out of that, a lot of red flags. Again, ultimately, the one that's going to decide, ladies and gentlemen, is you, the people. You, the people, are going to be able to vote for those individuals that you feel have what's needed. Renteria is saying experience matters. What do you look for in the qualifications, in the experience? What's the determining factor in you voting for Aaron, for Chewy, or for Doey? What's the main thing that you say, this is the reason why I'm voting for XYZ candidate for the 107th? What comes to mind to the people out there? Also, another very interesting race that we have been covering has been the Cameron County judge position. And it's funny, ladies and gentlemen, today, again, I want to back up real quick. I encourage the community today, later this evening, today, Tuesday, February 16th at 6 p.m., you have an opportunity. If you have any questions, any doubts in regards to the candidacy of each and every person on this list, you have an opportunity to talk to them directly. If you have any doubts, if you have any questions in regards to why they deserve your vote, here is your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. What bothers me is that they say, I've heard people say, oh, well, you know, these candidates hide and they don't show up, and this is your chance for and it's going to be held at La Sierra Event Center, 3742 US 77 Frontage Road in Harlingen, Texas. It starts today at 6 p.m. Tavo was saying, hey, some people don't even show up to debates. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have questions in regards to the candidacy of someone such as Eddie Trevino. There have been allegations made against his person that he accepted a donation from somebody that was linked to the Mexican Gulf Cartel. While those are very serious accusations, one thing that we want from our elected leaders is to make a statement, to go on the record. Eddie Trevino stated, you know what? I did not know that person. Money was returned. If I would have known who he was, I wouldn't have accepted the money. It was a $5,000 donation, if I'm not mistaken. There's also talks about Tanasca. Oh, Tanasca, you stole the money. He was an attorney. Providing legal consultation services. You have questions in regards to Tanasca? Go ask him. You have questions. Oh, he gave away the beach. That's something that many people have been talking. Oh, he gave away the beach. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to burst your bubble, but the county does not have control over a beach. Yes and no. They could maintain it. They could open it. They could close it. But they can't give it away. You know who did that? Austin. Legislation, representatives, senators. They laid the groundwork for SpaceX, Elon Musk, to take over the beach. The easy thing is, oh, Eddie Trevino gave away our beach. It doesn't work that way. We may think that he's powerful to, you know, he's more, what's the word? He's more powerful than Austin, but he's not. Austin, representatives, senators, legislators, they are the reason why we are in this mess. But you have a question in regards to the beach. Eddie Trevino, why did you give up Boca Chica Beach? Go ask him. What I appreciate about candidates is they show face. You see, Tavo, where are you, Tavo? Tavo was saying, hey, some of the candidates, they don't even participate in debates. Ladies and gentlemen, haven't you find it odd that there are 3 candidates in the Democratic primary, and the only one that we have seen in forums, in town halls, I believe yesterday, what are we, Tuesday, Monday, the Board of Realtors had a town hall where the county judge position, where the treasurer position, and possibly others, they went and they spoke about their platform. I hope that I can find video of it, because according to people there, they said that these are some of the questions that A. Treviño answered. But Tahoe makes a great point. Why don't some of these candidates participate? Why don't they show face? Ladies and gentlemen, I think of a challenger, Steve Guerra and Eric Garza, vying for the position to take away the belt from Eddie Treviño, but they're hiding. I think of this as a championship boxing match or an MMA match. We're the judges. How do you want the challenger to be? In the corner hiding? Or do we want that challenger to throw haymakers? Boom, boom. We want them to have some sort of aura, to show dominance, to show intelligence, to show understanding of the local issues that we are going through. But these people don't show up. This platform has made serious allegations in regards to Huachicol, how Steve Guerra has been linked through a lawsuit. We are being accused of slandering. Ladies and gentlemen, we provide receipts. We showed you that documents filed within Cameron County at the district clerk's office allege that Esteban Guerra, Warrior Fuel Traders, was in debt $336,000. And on the invoice, Pyro Diesel out of Pachuca Hidalgo is linked to the Mexican cartel. People are saying, you're slandering the man. How am I slandering when this is an official document? And again, people are saying, oh, that's fake news. It's a lawsuit. It's not fake. People are saying, oh, well, I'm still going to vote for him. Oh, so you are okay with somebody putting money into the pockets of 376. I apologize. I was off 10 grand, Tavo. I apologize. People are saying, oh, I'm still going to vote for Steve Guerra. So you're saying that you promote violence, that you're okay with enriching, with arming the cartel, with the underworld, because that's essentially what's happening. The proceeds from Huachicol are funding, are arming the cartel. Maybe they're using that to buy more product and flooding our streets with even more drugs. If you say that that's okay for you, there's nothing I can tell you. But if that's what you want in a candidate that is saying transparency, I'm transparent. We don't know where you work, Steve. We don't know where your office is. So we have a candidate that is not showing face, not appearing to these debates, not answering questions, simple questions. If he's not doing the basic stuff now when he's asking for our vote, what makes us think that he's going to do it if and when he wins office? Mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. What else? What else do we have here? The Cameron County Clerk's position. Montelongo, you were very vocal about this position. Denise Garza versus Sylvia Garza. Which Garza is going to win? Well, Sylvia Garza Perez, but they're Garza nonetheless. We have Reyes. Where are you, Reyes? Vote for Rick Herrera out of the GOP. Who are you going to vote for? Denise Garza. Remember, people, Denise Garza was in support to increase your property taxes. Are you okay with that? Are you going to vote for somebody that didn't care about elderly parents, grandparents, the disabled who live on a fixed income? Is that who you want? Montelongo, I appreciate you. Hopefully soon we'll be able to serve our constituents in whatever capacity. I'm just asking about, this race. Another race, the Cameron County Treasurer race, has been an interesting one. David Betancourt has been there for 20 years. One argument that people have been saying is, we need a full-time treasurer. Jonathan's an attorney. He's not going to be full-time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten reports from within the treasurer office from staff members saying that David Betancourt doesn't show up to work. His people are saying, we need a full-time county treasurer. We need a full-time. I don't think David Betancourt is a full-time treasurer right now. His staff complains that, now it's because there's an election coming on. Now he's present. Now he's active. Now he's showing up. Now he's show-faced. Jonathan Gracia, during his time as Justice of the Peace, he has given away $90,000. And something very interesting, and I'm going to play it. Something very interesting that he said yesterday at the Board of Realtors meeting really stuck with me. I was like, I knew about it, obviously, because we've been talking about it, but I was really like, damn, that's a good one, man. Hasta yo me quedé picado because of what he said. Again, Jonathan Gracia has been a former JP. He has $80,000 to social programs, Friendship of Women, to veterans, to scholarships. How long was he JP? 4 years only, if I'm not mistaken. In that short amount of time, he gave $80,000. Look what he has to say about an elected official. He says that he expects politicians to be active, to be giving, not to sit on the high horse and be like, I'm an elected official. Give me. I reap the benefits. Listen to what he says. It's very interesting.
And doing the job is the minimum. It is the bare minimum that you should expect from your elected officials. What you should want out of them is help. What you should want is to raise the bar, to let them know, and what I've been saying since I got into office, it takes your time, your energy, and your money. That's what you should be willing to give back. This is not something you should be profiting from. This is something that you should be showing leadership.
Did you listen to that? That politicians should not be profiting, that they should be working, that they should be back. Wow. That's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever you have a politician that says, I'm not going to sit back and receive. Again, he's given $80,000 in his short tenure. As Justice of the Peace. And he's promising to do that and more. Ladies and gentlemen, I identify as a Republican. I've been criticized for working his campaign. Jonathan is running as a Democratic candidate for county treasurer. Jonathan Gracia's father and my grandfather have a relationship that goes back 50 years. Is there bias in my part? Kinda. But if you've been following our program, we have stated, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. If you are all about giving to my people, giving to my community, how could I not support that? At the end of the day, that's what we want. Hey, we want our politicians, ponte el alba. Start working. Hey, we want our politicians to give because son unos arrastrados, nomás benefiting. No, feed the people, give scholarships, put money back into the community, help our veterans. Don't just take pictures and try and give back whenever it's time. Have a good day, Tavo. Go vote. So that is what I appreciate from someone such as Jonathan Gracia. Am I working his campaign? Hell yes. I'm proud to say that Jonathan Gracia asked me to be part of his campaign. Why? Because I believe in his candidacy. Whether he was a red Republican, a blue Democrat, or an independent, I would have supported him. One, because of his father and my grandfather that have a relationship that goes back 50 years. Another thing is, Jonathan gives back. That's what I want my politicos to do. To give. Very interesting thing that he said. What else, ladies and gentlemen? I got to show you the sample ballots. We're losing time. Daniel Ochoa out of the Port Isabel, Laguna, Precinct 1 will be present as well. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you have any questions? Go ask these people. Go talk to Judge Eddie Trevino. Ask him about those tough questions. He's not going to hide. He's going to tell you. What else? I got to show you. I always say it's going to be a quick show. Nombre. Okay, I showed you the Democrat. Let's look at Republican. Who's this? Okay. Can you see the screen? Yes. Let me blow it up. Here we have a sample ballot for the GOP. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you have an opportunity to vote either Republican or Democrat in this primary races. You can't do both. So you're either going to vote Republican or you're either going to vote Democrat. You're going to get a sample ballot. I showed you the list of Democrats that are going to be present today in Harlingen at Sierra Event Center in Harlingen. Now let's take a look at the Republican. Where am I? At the Republican ticket. We have, who's on there? Again, United States Senator. You can vote for Cornyn, for Paxton, for Hunt. That's going to be an interesting race. Oh, my goodness. District 34, again, Mayra Flores, number 3. Eric Flores, number 4. Who else? Luis Buenteo, number 1. For governor, we have, that's right. For governor, Gina Hinojosa on the Democrat side. For the Republican GOP, you could vote for Arturo Espinosa, Pete Chambers. Doc Chambers is the name I've been hearing, or Greg Abbott, if you're satisfied with his services so far. What else? The Court of Appeals judges. There's not that many besides, and this is based on my ticket. I live in, what was it? Precinct 82, I think. So I can't vote for Barbie. Right now, the GOP also. That's interesting. Maybe because Harlingen is not in Brownsville, right? But if you live in Precinct 2 and you're voting for the GOP on the GOP ticket, you have an opportunity to vote for Jonathan Campos or Barbie Lopez. On my precinct, I'm in Precinct 1. For Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick. For Attorney General, that's going to be an interesting race. Is this going to be a runoff between Middleton, Roy, or Ritz? The Texas Comptroller, Don Huffings, has come out as being the owner of the Zorro Ranch, of Epstein's former New Mexico property, which is kind of crazy. Who else? Sid Miller should win that race. Justice of the Peace. Who else? Of course. How can I forget? If you're going to be voting for the GOP ticket, I encourage you to vote for Lorraine de Leon, who is asking the constituents for her to be the GOP county chair. In the short time that I have met Lorraine de Leon, I have heard nothing but positive. Now, again, are people perfect? Is a party? There's no such thing, ladies and gentlemen. We all have good things. We all have bad things, unfortunately. But one thing that I admire about Lorraine de Leon is that she's a fighter. Within her own party, ladies and gentlemen, she has been given pushback. And she still is adamant of wanting to represent you, the Republican Party. Her involvement within the city of Harlingen, being active, a community member within her community, is very admirable. She was a big advocate for removing pornography or in the textbooks. This was an issue that was big, I want to say maybe a year and a half ago. You see, if you are voting for the GOP ticket, Lorraine de Leon offers the party something different. She offers the party unity. Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but during Deborah Bell's administration, it's been horrible. Whenever I look at Jared Hakama, my respects to Jared Hakama. I got nothing but love and respect for the man. I like the way he runs his ship. Now, again, no party is perfect. I'm not saying that Jared Hakama is better than Lorraine or Jim. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from the outside, looking in, I like the way Jared works because Jared is fair. Jared is impartial. Jared Hakama, ladies and gentlemen, attends each and every candidate's event. He does not let his personal friendship, his personal beliefs interfere with his job. That is something that the GOP party has been lacking. And if you want this to continue, then vote for Jim. Because Deborah Bell, Susan for the Corrupt, these are the women that are pushing for Jim, Minerva Simpson as well. You see, the Republican Party, there's a fork in the road. There are many prominent people that are scattered. We have someone such as Tad Hassey, Roman Pettis on one side. You have Minerva Simpson. You have Deborah Bell. Just imagine if somebody was able to get these people and just say, hey, we're going to be in this room. Let's say what we got to say. But whenever it's all said and done, Renteria, Denise Garza, running for the Democratic County Clerk position during her tenure as a current BISD board member, was in support of raising your taxes if you live in the city of Brownsville, based on Proposition A and B for BISD, where they're trying to maintenance work and an auditorium. So Denise Garza, if you live in Brownsville community, she was in support and she voted to put on the ballot to increase your property taxes. How do you feel about that? So it's very simple to the GOP. Lorraine de Leon is somebody that's going to get someone like Roman by the ear, Tad Hassey by the ear, Minerva Simpson by the hand, Deborah Bell by the hand, and say, hey, guys, let's meet in the middle. Let bygones be bygones. That's what we need within a leader. Somebody that's able to bring these people, because, look, I think the world of Minerva Simpson. I think the world of Deborah. I think the world of Susan. We may have our differences. I think the world of Tad. I think the world of Roman. Just imagine if we were able to put those minds behind a common good, which is the Cameron County GOP. Imagine where this party would be. Jared Hakama would be like, geez, Louise. So what is interesting, speaking with somebody yesterday, the whole Mayra Flores issue, there are people that don't like her within her own party. Rightfully so. Hey, it's politics. But I've told people, look, when Mayra Flores wins, are you going to support the candidate? Because at the end of the day, right now in the primary, it's all about your candidate A. There's a grudge match. But once the people decide, we have to put the party ahead of everything. And are those women that are bashing Maida, are they going to support Maida for the better good of the party? Or are they not going to get involved? Or are they going to vote for Vicente Gonzalez in November? You see, we need someone such as Lorraine de Leon to bring these different people, characters together and say, let bygones be bygones. Let's make the Cameron County GOP one of the strongest it's ever been. And I promise you that if you elect Lorraine de Leon, this party's going to grow. These candidates are going to get all of the support and backing of the party the way it should be. But the choice is yours, my people. If you elect Jim, you're electing Susan, you're electing Deborah once again. What did they show during their year and a half? They have nothing in the tank, nothing good to offer the party. But Lorraine de Leon, she's a fighter. She's a unifier. And she's going to help, and she's going to block walk, and she's going to make sure that each and every candidate that signs up for a GOP position is going to have the backing of the party. That is ultimately what each and every one of us who are voting in the GOP, that's what we want. Gentlemen, my time is up. Go vote. You have February 17th today, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., all the way up until Friday the 27th. Election day is on March the 3rd. I don't want to hear nobody complaining. I'm going to ask you, did you vote, yes or no? If you didn't vote, get out of my face. If you did vote, let's talk about it. Vote. Reyes says, vote, people. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Franco Levo TV. Best believe will come on Monday through Friday religiously. All we ask of our community is something very simple. Make sure you're following our social media platforms. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for your patience, my people. I hope to see you here tomorrow morning. My name is Franco Levo, and this is Good Morning Brazil. Peace!
Boom.